What's going on, guys? It's Sam, and today I'm going to show you an animated YouTube end screen in Adobe Premiere Pro. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to animate an end screen for YouTube, how an end screen should look and how it should function on YouTube, and how to use the template I made for you guys in Adobe Premiere Pro. Alright guys, as always, you can download this animation as a template. Just go ahead and click the link in the description, type in your name and email, and it'll get sent straight to your inbox, and you can skip this whole tutorial. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and dive in and get started. And the first thing we want to make sure we have open is the Essential Graphics panel, okay? So the Essential Graphics panel lives underneath Window. You can go down here, click on Essential Graphics panel, and mine's open just like this, okay? So let's go ahead and click on the Edit tab, and within the Edit tab, we want to make sure that we start off with a video clip. So I want to make my end screen end on a cool video clip, because normally what I do with my end screens is I like to have a video clip in the background, and I just have the subscribe option and the next video available for people to click on. And also before the end screen starts, I like it to be a transition from what I was previously showing on screen. Okay, so we're gonna make a transition to an end screen and also make the end screen look nice. So first I'm gonna start off with a video, and I know which one I want, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab it. So in order to do that, I'm gonna click on this new layer button in the Essential Graphics panel, and I'm gonna click on From File, okay? So I'm gonna navigate, and let's go ahead and find my demo footage. Okay, so now I have an essential graphic clip in my timeline with a clip of the video. Okay, so you can see it here. I'm actually going to extend it out to about 10 seconds because that's how long I recommend a end screen to be. It doesn't need to be longer than 10 seconds. I think 10 is great. It gives people plenty of time to click on the next video. Okay, so now that I've got this clip, what I want to do is I want it to actually start from transparent by using some white bars on the top and bottom as a transition, okay? So you'll see what I'm talking about once I make it. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a big shape, okay? So I'm gonna make a rectangle. I'm gonna make this rectangle go all the way as large as it can to take up the full screen, okay? And let's go to, or let's call this like the transparency rectangle, okay? Okay, so when we click on the transparency rectangle, you'll see there's an option to mask with shape. So I'm gonna click on mask with shape, and I'm also going to invert it. So what that means is it's currently just blocking the video right now. It's transparent, that's why it's black. And we can verify that it's transparent by clicking on this little wrench. We can do transparency grid, right? So it's transparent, okay? So I'll turn off the invert, turn it back on. Cool, okay, so I'll turn off the transparency grid. And let's go ahead and make our transition, okay? So I'm gonna make another giant rectangle. So I'm gonna make this nice and huge. Bada bing. Okay, and then I'm gonna go to the effect controls, and let's go into the shape we just made, which is shape 2, and I'm going to create a mask in it. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this 4-point polygon mask, and I'm also going to invert it. Okay, so now it's transparent inside here. I'm gonna have like white bars just come down, close, and then open back up for the transition. I'm gonna click on the Safe Margins tool so I know where the exact horizontal is in this frame and also the verticals. I'm also gonna zoom out on my video, go to 25%. I'm gonna pull these lines and kind of try to line them up as best I can with the horizontal lines on the side, okay? I'm gonna make it perfect, so it's just a nice flat line, okay? So it actually, so it isn't perfect, but that doesn't really ruin it for us. We just have to make sure that it's a straight line, okay? So when I zoom back in and I click off of it, you can see there's like a weird slit. It doesn't look good at all, okay? But that's totally fine. Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn off the feather. It's just gonna be a fast animation, so you can't even tell if the line is perfect or not. So let's use the mask expansion to kind of like create our transition, right? So I'm gonna have the bars come in, and then pop back up to kind of show the video afterwards. So first, let's start with nothing. And I hit a keyframe on the mask expansion. I'm gonna go down. Actually, let's go shift to the right once and then to the right. So that's 6 frames, which is like 1/4 of a second. And let's go ahead and bring the expansion down to close it. And then maybe wait like another 6 frames. So shift to the right and then to the right again. So we're at 1/2 a second. And let's add another keyframe so it stays closed. And let's do another 6 frames to the right. So shift to the right and then right. So that's 3/4 of a second in terms of this animation. So let's bring the expansion back up. Okay, and it's black again. Now I wanna go in between that transition, okay? So where it's fully white. So in here is where I want the transparency rectangle to turn off. Okay, so I'm gonna make this turn off by just going to the opacity and setting it a keyframe there, and then going 1 frame to the right and then throwing it to 0. Okay, so now that it's at 0, when this opens up, you see the video. Okay, so let me go back to the shape, and what I can do is I can ease in and ease out all these keyframes. So let's just make sure it's relatively smooth. And so, all right, look at that. We got a nice little transition, okay? And then usually during end screens, I like to make it so that the background isn't really too distracting. You can keep the color if you want, but I'm just gonna make it black and white. I going to the effects panel, go to HLS, drop this color balance onto our graphic in the timeline, okay? And then I'm gonna minimize this stuff. And for the color balance, I'll put it just above the clip. And then I'm gonna bring the saturation all the way down to -100. And maybe bring the lightness down too. So it's like that, okay? So it starts off transparent. So I'll show you guys again, transparency grid, boom, transition, there we go. And then this is where I would put subscribe and the next video, okay? So how I usually do that is I'll go back to the essential graphics panel and I will add some text. So we got a new text layer here. I'm gonna call this subscribe. And I could probably make this a little smaller. So I'm gonna scroll down, look at my little text options there. And I'm gonna add a little drop shadow to it too, even though it's fairly subtle. Let's make sure the drop shadow is black as well. And yeah, so I'm gonna turn on that safe margin again, and we're gonna put this like up here. And then what we're also going to do is we're gonna duplicate this subscribe text, and we're going to make this one say next video, okay? And then let me grab the selection tool and just kind of like scoot it over, bam, okay? So now when I turn this off, it's great. So your end screen, when you import it into YouTube, you finish your video with this template on it, and this is blank, right? In the end screen options on YouTube, you can just add in your little subscribe circle and your next video box, okay? Now I wanna make sure that these aren't visible until the transition is done, right? Because they're there the whole time. So once the transition comes in, I'm gonna have them fade on. So let's go through the effect controls, click on the text, and right here, let's go all the way down to the opacity, and I'll also do that for the next video text as well. Put a keyframe on the opacity. Let's go 6 frames to the right. Oops. And let's put another keyframe and make sure we do that on the subscribe. So I'm just adding keyframes just so that they fade on. And let's go back to the beginning, set it to 0. Oop, that's 1. And then we'll set this one to 0 as well. Okay, so now we got transition, and the text pops on right after the transition. See that? So yeah, generally for YouTube end screens, as you guys have probably seen in my videos, I like to talk about the next video that I recommend people watching, and then I'll have the end screen elements pop on, I'll have the next video pop on, and then the transition happens and the next video is still on there, and the subscribe pops on as well. So it's always good in your YouTube videos to let people know what the next video is going to be in your video itself, and then attach the end screen to it. So it just, it makes it easier for people to just know why they want to click on the next video, All right, guys, so let me show you how to export this as a motion graphics template and use it inside of Premiere Pro. So let's right click this and go to export as motion graphics template. It's gonna bring up this window where we can name it, we can save where we want to save it. I put it on local drive on my desktop. Then we'll add some keywords. We can type in just end screen. I also put ParEdits on all of my motion graphics I make for you guys. So I'm gonna hit OK. It's gonna export it. Cool, and because there's a video, it's gonna take a little while. All right, so we go to our Essential Graphics panel. Let's go to Browse. Let's add it by clicking this button in the bottom right. And it is on our desktop. So let's click on End Screen. And it's in here because it blinked. So let me type in ParEdits. Oop, I spelled it wrong. I'll just type in End Screen. End screen, and boom, there it is. Let's go to another spot in the timeline. Let's just drag it in, and it's gonna load that media. Okay, and in my template that you guys can use, you can always just replace the background with whatever video clip you want, okay? So yeah, as always, you can download this end screen as a template. You can do it by clicking the link in the description, just get it and you can install it straight into Premiere Pro. And I also want to let you guys know about my YouTube Motion Graphics Academy Facebook group that you can join, where I'm talking about motion graphics all the time. I'm making free templates for you guys. I do workshops and it's just a really great time. So let's make some YouTube motion graphics together. You can go ahead and join that by clicking the link in the description. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is, of course, the next video, which is my YouTube subscribe button. A lot of people love this. It's a fan favorite. So go ahead and click on that one, and I will see you guys in there. Peace out.